Hey, welcome back to Mountain Jim Card Collectibles. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you had a great weekend now that Christmas is almost here. And since Christmas is almost here, I'm just curious, what you're buying for Christmas this year. Are you buying cards? Are you buying some other type of collectible? Are you just not buying a card or collectible at all? The reason I'm asking that is, let's face it, I mean, our economy is not very healthy right now. And it's trickling down to consumers. Now, we can look at other things too. We can look at the minimum wage. We can look at, how that's not moving at all. It's still at 7.25. I mean, here in a few more years, it'll be 20 years at 7.25 at a federal minimum wage. And I just go, boy, what's the point of Washington, D.C.? I mean, I guess to keep everybody down, to keep those wealthy people up. But I think that everyone's getting exhausted. And they're getting exhausted for a lot of reasons. I mean, this is probably the most unmerry Christmas that I have seen in years, I've been having unmerry Christmases for many years. I typically never put up Christmas trees or decorations or really anything. I'm not a big Christmas fan overall. I used to be when I was a kid, but as an adult, it tends to be kind of a tough time of year, I typically don't have as much food on the table. The budget's super tight. Life is tough overall. So if you're out there and you're struggling, I just want you to understand that I can relate to you. I'm not married. I don't have family that comes in and helps me out. I have to do everything on my own and figure everything out. So it's not a very good Christmas overall. But for me, it never really has been for quite a few years. So anyway, if you're having a tough Christmas, I'm here for you. I've had many rough Christmases as well. And that takes me to our current sports card retail market, Wal-Mart. And Wal-Mart has really been a big player for retail sports cards. We can't say they're not. Typically, it's become kind of a go-to place for retail sports cards, Walmart and Target. But this year, I've noticed at my local Walmart, the stuff just isn't moving. And I thought, well, it must just be up here, I mean, things are really tight for a lot of people right now. And to gamble on a $20 hanger box of 2025, 2026 Topps Chrome basketball is just a step too far for a lot of people. And overall, the retail products from Panini, even the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, I see it's not really moving like it used to, I mean, it just sits on the shelves. And that's so much different than a few years ago where people were really excited about sports cards. I've even noticed that some of the Pokemon lately has been kind of sitting on the shelf too, So what's going on? I mean, is this all economic related, because our economy is, in the toilet overall? Or is this having to do with the fact that people are just getting burned out of the retail sports card grift? Now, I don't believe there should be any difference between retail and hobby boxes. That's just me. And I know a lot of LCSs probably do not want me to say that, because that's what gives them a step up, is having the hobby over the retail. The problem is I really like my LCS, but so much of the hobby product is really, really expensive, Even to get into one or two packs, you're spending a lot of money, and then you open up these hobby packs, and you're getting burned just as bad as you are for retail. But at least you have a chance at the better cards in the hobby boxes, whereas retail, it's just like, nah, don't even worry about that. This is just a gimmick, a grift from the corporations, to pretend that you're actually going to get something valuable. And we know more often than not that they're not going to do that for you. I mean, what's the big chase in 2025, 2026 Topps Chrome basketball, for hanger boxes? What, some colored parallels? I am colored, paralleled out. Give me some autos to chase. Give me something decent to chase than a numbered parallel. And I see so many of these sports card breaking channels on YouTube trying to hype it up, but the hype just isn't really sinking in this year. The hype for Cooper Flag just isn't sinking in for a lot of people. And I know that Topps and a lot of these gurus want you to buy into it, but for the most part, a lot of people are turning away from the BS. I don't blame them. Cooper Flag is not Michael Jordan. So, we can kind of see a closer view of this kind of debacle here at this Walmart. And this just looks so similar to mine. What did these companies get wrong? Well, I think that they forgot that a lot of their fan base earns close to minimum wage. And I know a lot of these big gurus on YouTube don't want to hear that. They just want to keep, gaslighting you that you can do this, you can do this. But for a lot of people, even to buy a $20 box, a hanger box, it really hurts. It really does. I mean, that money can go for food because food's so expensive these days. That money can go for bills. Utilities are out of control. I know Washington, D.C. pretends that it's not, but where I'm at here in Montana, my utility bills have really skyrocketed. My food bills have skyrocketed. I don't eat much food. I am as skinny as I have ever been. I used to be close to 300 pounds when I was going to college and the university, about 25 years ago. I'm about half that weight now. And the reason has to do with, well, I need to get some teeth implants, so I can't eat a lot of foods. And let's face it, food is so expensive these days that I really have to budget and limit myself to what I'm eating. So a lot of times I eat a meal and I walk away hungry. I'm not sure if that's happening to you in this current economy, but it always sucks to have to, sit down, eat a meal, and you're hungry afterwards, And that's, I believe, the worst part of all this, So our economy is in the toilet. And I believe that has the biggest effect on what's going on with retail. Sports card bubble popping signs are obvious. Yeah, people are tired. People are exhausted. People have been run over by the system too often, only to see a big breaking company come out with the best of the best day in and day out. Now that's a full stock. Well, that's the thing is, I was just in my local Walmart on Saturday, and they always restock on Thursdays. But nothing had really moved, Now, if I went up there today, did they sell a lot yesterday for Sunday? I don't know. And I've noticed that this year more than the last, I would say, 5 years of how the stuff is not moving. It's literally still cleared. Anything worth buying isn't there. Well, what? The Pokemon, yeah. I didn't really see any Pokemon. So I don't know what to say about that. People might finally be fed up with prices. Well, facts, my Walmart had full untouched shelves of Pokemon. Now that's crazy. I have not seen that. $60 for 15 base cards. Pass, laugh out loud. Yeah, that's just it. People are getting exhausted with these high-end base cards. I don't blame them. Why do we need to have a parallel of every base card? Can anyone explain to me that? Why do we have to have a bazillion parallels for every base card? Why do we even need high-end base cards? Who cares? I sell base cards, for big-name players. What do I get? $1 or $2 out of them? Give me a break. And you're paying how much for them? That's just it. So I think a lot of this is people have seen through the veil and they are pulling the plug. It's all base cards, no? Well, they want to call this the new junk wax era, but I just want to remind people the great thing about the junk wax era is the fact that the stuff was affordable and it was all licensed. It's not like that these days. We just have a few monopolistic corporations who hold the licensing, and the grifting just goes on and on and on and on. Because blasters cost $40 to $50 now for even the low end trash. Yeah, and that's just it. The blaster prices are getting out of control, so people are forced into the hanger boxes, and the hanger boxes, all you can really pull out of those are a few different parallels of base cards or rookies, and whoopee doo. Who cares, I wouldn't even spend my money on the hanger boxes at this point. Yeah, paying $40 for $2 worth of cards is probably getting old to more people. Yeah, I mean, people are getting exhausted. And that's why prices have to stay low. That's why you have to get the model back down the 70s, 80s, or 90s model. And what happens when you get that model going again? Well, do you have braking companies? Do we have any need for braking companies? No, you really don't. That's just it. Once you get that model back, the consumer is braking again. And what's the point of having braking companies, when everyone can afford the cards again? The economy is so damn bad. People have less money to spend on cardboard. Yeah, and you really have to weigh that out as well. And I said that earlier. I tend to believe that is the biggest factor here is the economy. And Washington, D.C. can hype it up and hype it up and hype it up, but it is what it is. Probably because of this. What a F-ass product. I'm out on @tops. 2 jumbo, 2 hobby, 6 megas, 5 hangers. This is the best thing I pulled. Just a numbered out of 10 card of some player that isn't very big. Yep, I know. And, the breakers would likely get the bigger name cards. But I even have a problem with our current, class of 2025, 2026. I mean, I know they hype up Ace Bailey. I know they hype up Cooper Flag, But most people just aren't buying into it. So much product, and this should show them they shouldn't be releasing all this shit before Christmas. No, I'm just playing, but for real, too much product, too expensive. Yep. And I go back to the model. Can we get rid of the retail sports card model and make it to where it's only hobby? I know that pisses a lot of people off with me saying that, but people are just getting tired of the retail grift. People can't afford groceries, not sure this is a priority. And I've said that before. I mean, there's a reason why I am like half of what I was 25 years ago for weight. I mean, and maybe I'm healthier for it. Starving people to death makes them healthier. I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, maybe these braking companies should be selling food, huh? The way food's getting. People making all these bids, biting the brakes. What are we breaking here? A loaf of bread. Cost 50 bones. No, the bread's not that expensive, but everything is just so expensive, I just don't see people really enjoying holidays anymore because of that fact, I mean, the thing about growing up, in the U.S. is they would always get, prices down typically for the holidays. And you'd have these organizations helping a lot of people out. They're just not doing that anymore, It's just, if anything, people are getting salt kicked in their wounds for the holidays. It's pretty tough to watch, Unfortunately, I'm one of them. People finally realizing that any pack with a rare insert, Topps is sending to a celebrity or athlete to open on camera, not to Walmart. Yep. We've all caught on to that, You can chase your base Cooper Flags at Walmart all you want. You might even hit a parallel, but we all know there's nothing good there. Y'all wanted more. Well, COT, damn it. We print a boatload for you thirsty ass. We're not thirsty. We drank too much, and we don't like what we're drinking. Garbage. The hype is gone. And I feel like the big pandemic gold rush really came crumbling down this year, didn't it? And I know a lot of people want to pretend that it didn't. But when you look around, we are not seeing the same market that we saw just a few years ago. I mean, when I look at 2023, 2022, I mean, retail was flying out of Walmarts to no end. my LCS, the product was flying off the shelves. I'm just not seeing that anymore. People have really pulled back on their spending, including me. I mean, I am so careful about everything I have to buy now. It just feels like I'm walking on hot coals. When you print 89 million cards per set of Topps Chrome, this is what you get. Yeah, you get people who aren't really interested. People who are burned out on the retail shtick of, getting crap cards that aren't really worth anything, that people don't care about. Let it rot on the shelf until we see some change. Yeah, that would be nice to see some change. I just don't know if we ever will in this hobby, because this hobby is all about greed at the top, and, selling the dream to a bunch of supposed gold miners or card miners, But the problem is we all know where the best cards go, A very, very few select people at the top of the breaking chain. People realize only streamers are getting the big breaks. Yep. And so I believe that this kind of way of shilling out sports cards is dying to an extent. And it's dying for a good reason. Because as consumers, we deserve better. Isn't that right? Retail is ass. Yep. I've been saying that this whole episode, more or less. It takes years and years for people to figure it out, but I don't know what it is about this year. It's just like everyone had the wake up call, I mean, ding, ding, ding. Who's this on the phone? Hello? Yes? You are getting ripped off on all of your retail sports card purchases, sir. So stop doing it. Bye. And it was a very early morning wake up call, obviously. I love it. I love watching people turn against their big corporate overlord, Topps Fanatics, Panini, who have really gotten the best of the best out of the consumer now, haven't they? And really, what have they given back to the consumer? Garbage, trash, nothing worth anything. More games from PSA to rip you off and always award their favorites too. I love it. I'm sure the trolls will come after me, I mean, I'm not even sure why the trolls come at me. I don't know why they're hanging around my channel, other than they don't like the fact that I am for consumers over the big people at the top, the big breaking companies, Like I said, if we went back to that old model, 70s, 80s, 90s, there's no need for breaking companies. Why? Because we can break our stuff on our own. We can afford to do it. And I believe that's what people want for sports cards, It's easy that way. It's enjoyable that way. I don't feel like, that I'm in the country club, of all these different tiers of consumers, that are above me. So anyway, how do you feel about retail sports cards this holiday season? Do you feel like it's kind of their time to dry up like raisins and let Topps Fanatics go bankrupt, if we could do it, as well as Panini? I love it. I just love to see the paint on top. I would just love to see Michael Rubin pulling his hair out. Why aren't people buying my product? Well, Rubin, you set it up the way you set it up. You set it up for breakers only. And then you shill out a bunch of garbage retail for your consumers, and then you don't understand why they're not eating it up at this point. It's garbage. It's trash. It's not worth anything. Anyone who's pretending that is, you're probably one of these companies, or you're tied in with people who are selling the shovels and picks to the miners now, aren't you? Monetize YouTube channels. I'm looking at you. Anyway, like to thank my subscribers, like to thank my subscriber base. You're the reasons I keep doing these episodes. As you know, I am not monetized. And I'd like to thank my viewers. If you haven't subscribed, it's 100% free, and it will really help me continue to improve the channel. So I hope you have a great day. I'm out of here. Bye.